Thank you, everyone, for that, taking a brief break with us just so that we could reset to our council meeting. So I'd like to call to order our February 24th, 2026 City Council meeting. We are going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and we've asked Kimball to come up and lead us in the pledge. Thank you so much. And next on our agenda, we will have a prayer by Clay Christiansen, who is a special guest because not only is he the grandfather of our city recorder, Sophia, but he was a longtime tabernacle organist as well. So if you wouldn't mind coming to the podium and offering a word of prayer to start our meeting.
Our Heavenly Father, we bow our heads before Thee this evening in humility and in gratitude for the blessings of living in this beautiful city of Bountiful, in this community with so many good people. And we're grateful, especially tonight, for those who have taken upon themselves the responsibility to serve us and to see to the business of this city. We pray that Thy blessing will be upon them, that they will have wisdom in all of their deliberations, including tonight. And we pray that Thy Spirit will be here, that those things that are important to our citizens and residents will be able to be freely discussed and will come to wise conclusions. And we ask Thy blessings upon all who are here and all who live in this city, and pray that Thy protective hand will continue over us. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
That's pretty cute. Like seeing the granddaughter, grandfather, city council date. Next on our city council agenda is public comment time. For those of you that have not joined us for public comment time, just want to outline a few rules. We do have what I affectionately call our shot clock here, so we ask people to limit themselves to 2 minutes in our public comment time. You're welcome to bring up any issue that is on your mind that you'd like to share with the city council. Issues that you raise don't necessarily have to be on our meeting agenda, but as if you were here for our open and public meetings training, you'll note that we don't take up for discussion items that we haven't noticed for discussion on our agenda. When you come up, we ask that you give us your name and your address so that we can include those in the minutes of our meetings. And so with that, I would invite anyone from the public who wishes to give public comment tonight to come join us at the podium.
Hello. My name is Isabel Milligan, and I live on 500 South and Orchard Drive. I am here as a number of Bountiful neighbors are concerned about the impact ICE will have on the people in our city. We are demanding the City Council to first be proactive and make policies now to reduce the harm ICE and Customs and Border Patrol agents could cause, and second, to be transparent about how city resources would be used in the event of increased immigration enforcement. The next speaker will detail our demands. In cities and towns across the country, masked men have been kidnapping residents in the middle of the night and in broad daylight, arresting people outside of schools and hospitals and churches, using preschool-aged kids as bait to lure their parents, and in several cases, murdering people. ICE has been seen in Bountiful already. Our neighbors have already been harassed and even threatened to close business. ICE and CPB have shown they don't respect our rights or the rule of law. It is naive to think that they will draw the lines at our city limits, simply stay in Salt Lake or Ogden, or believe that they won't come for you and your family next. ICE has staged violent raids in towns in Idaho with as few as 2,000 people. We have been told the council cares about keeping Bountiful safe and family-friendly. Our demands are to make it that way for everyone here, regardless of skin color or immigration status. To this end, we have come up with 6 policies based on what other city councils have enacted across the country. And I also would just like to make it clear, we are working continually to get this on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabel.
I'm also an Isabel, but Isabel Gabash. I live at 2200 South and 1150 East, right by Mueller Park Elementary, or Middle School. I'm also a resident concerned about the impact of ICE. We're asking you to take this threat really seriously and to put these policies in writing. The first policy is to require judicial warrants before any city resources are accessed by ICE. The second is to pass a resolution calling for the abolition of ICE. 3, mandate public reporting on interactions with federal agencies. 4, provide educational resources and partner with immigration rights organizations to keep everybody safe and informed of their rights. 5, to fund community advisory bodies that monitor residents' rights and notes any violations. And 6, to ensure no city funds, staff, or facilities are used for federal immigration enforcement. And we're thinking specifically of 287G agreements, but the wider policy is to ensure that no city funds, staff, or facilities are used for immigration enforcement. If it's okay, I'd like to leave a flyer to be included with the minutes. It kind of details those policies. Would that be all right?
Yes, we'd love
Yeah,
to have you
okay.
just leave that with our
Could I have
staff. Thank
Rebecca
you.
do that? Thank you so much. Having clear codified policies can ensure city resources remain dedicated to local goals and not to the whims of the federal government. It can also prevent the city from being swept up in costly lawsuits if ICE or CPB was to violate someone's rights. And most importantly, it would be a step in making Bountiful safe and family-friendly for everybody who lives here. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabel.
Hi, my name is Serena Ergat. I'm the Executive Director of the Bountiful Davis Arts Center. Mayor and council members, I'd like to thank you for your investment at the Bountiful Davis Arts Center through your RAP tax support, partnership with Summerfest, and the building that we call home, and your general funding. We understand that when a city allocates public dollars, you're making a decision on behalf of your residents, and we take that responsibility seriously. We are committed to serving a city in visible and tangible ways. Families attend exhibitions together, students participate in arts exhibitions programs, musicians perform on our Steinway pianos, and each summer, Summerfest brings many people to the downtown area, which supports artists, creating shared experiences and enforcing Bountiful's civic identity. This presence has a real economic dimension, too. Opening receptions draw visitors from neighboring cities and from Salt Lake to Ogden to Main Street businesses. Classes bring repeat foot traffic throughout the year, and thriving arts centers brings and contributes to the kind of neighborhood identity that makes Bountiful an attractive place to live, to raise a family, and to work. That public-facing work is important, and behind it is the institutional foundation that ensures quality, consistency, and long-term sustainability. As a 50-year-old professional visual arts center, BDA supports artists and at every stage of their careers, from Davis School District Juried Art Show, which introduces young artists to professional exhibition standards, to the statewide annual, which significant artists have their earliest exhibitions. We have a long history that we have found in our archives of supporting significant artists in Utah, including LeConte Stewart, Douglas Snow, Anna Spies, David Wassmer, and plenty of others. And that legacy reflects on a curatorial commitment that spans for decades. Over the past year, with the city's support, we've completed a comprehensive strategic plan that establishes a disciplined framework for institutional stability. If I'm speaking on the behalf of a group, may I have a couple more minutes?
I'll give you just a minute to finish your thoughts.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. It positions BDAC for thoughtful and sustainable advancement, and I'd love to have you check out our strategic plan. Across Utah, arts organizations are navigating financial pressure, and we're very excited that we can say that we're very stable, and that's because of your support, so thank you for that.
Thank you, Serena, for joining us tonight. Anyone else?
Good evening, Mayor Bradshaw. That sounds good, Mayor Bradshaw.
I like it too, thanks.
And council members, congratulations on each of your willingness to serve our city, the great city of Bountiful. My name is Dennis King. I'm the founder of Bountiful Community Garden. I live in Centerville, by the way, just a half a block out of Bountiful, but I still keep one toe in Bountiful. Our motto is we grow to serve. We established our garden on June 1st, 2025 for the purpose of providing fresh produce for the Bountiful Community Pantry and any other charitable cause. On May of 2025, we contacted Rebecca Anderson of the Bountiful Food Pantry and offered to provide her with some fresh fruit trees that we had grown from seed, and she was very welcome to have those trees and the fresh produce. However, we needed a place to plant those trees. We couldn't find a place anywhere that was suitable that would handle. We had 20 trees that we planted. Well, we had a friend, a realtor by the name of Greg Call, who directed us to the property over on 1800 South, an Orchard Drive, belonging to the late George Fidel family. His daughter, Kia Hodgkins, helped provide us the property, and she's been very, very charitable in helping us with that property. There was plenty of space left over for other plants, and so we then went to local nurseries like J&J in Layton. We went to Home Depot, Walmart in Centerville, Lowe's, Smith Marketplace, anybody that had plants, and they were all very gracious in helping us with plants. Over nearly 200 plants that they gave us to plant in our garden. And as a result, we took all those plants, and through the course of the year, we raised the produce, and the end story was at the end of the year, we had provided over 500 pounds of fresh produce to Bountiful City Pantry. And we're just very grateful to all the citizens of Bountiful who supported us. We've had support from Box Elder County, Davis County, Sully County, Utah County, and even down in Sanpete County. People have come to support our project. So we're very, very grateful to the citizens of Bountiful who have helped that cause for the Bountiful Food Pantry. We've given you all a copy of our story, and we're very proud to be part of Bountiful City and helping the charity with the pantry. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis, and thank you for providing your story. It's inspiring, and we very much appreciate the project that you all have taken on.
Mayor Bradshaw, may I just continue just a little bit while the search?
You are welcome to take advantage of the
Thank
public
you.
comment. Thank you.
My name is Kimball Jacobs, and I work with Dennis and Beverly on the project. And my wife and I are very honored and blessed to live at that property, the George K. Fidel property, going on 5 years now. We attended his funeral on January 10th, and it was mentioned that at one time, if anyone, during his years of service to Bountiful as mayor as well as city attorney, could be worthy of the title Mr. Bountiful, it was George K. Fidel. He's blessed the lives of so many of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kimball. Okay, that concludes our public comment time period. Thank you all for joining us and sharing your thoughts with us today. We are now going to move to the next part of our agenda, and as we do so, I'm going to take the privilege of the chair of this meeting to actually share some sad news for our community. And at the end, ask if we can all share in a moment of silence. The council is aware, but members of our community might not be, that the chief of our South Davis Metro Fire Agency passed away on Friday, Chief Greg Stewart, who had served our community as chief for the past 2 years and had served in numerous roles in the fire service, really in every possible position in the fire service before he became our fire chief. It has been a hard and tragic loss for our fire service that serves the 5 South Davis cities, and I know it has been hard on our dispatch group as well as our police department as well, who worked incredibly closely with Chief Stewart. And so I'd like to ask if we could all just take a moment of silence to honor Chief Stewart and to please keep his family in our thoughts and prayers as they go through this difficult time with his loss. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that moment on behalf of Chief Stewart. Funeral details for the chief are still pending, are likely to take place the first part of next week. I'm certain that we will share those out to the community once his family has finalized those details. For our council reports, since I serve on as our representative on the fire board, I'll just report that we have worked hard to ensure that our firefighters have access to grief counselors and peer support, so that as they are processing this heavy loss, that they have access to people that can help them process any of those feelings that they have that such a loss would bring forward. We have also moved forward with adopting an interim fire chief. That is Jeff Larson, who had been serving as our deputy chief. So he is going to be helping us move forward as our interim fire chief, and we will be, working to ensure that we support our firefighters, but that our community also is well covered in terms of the emergency services that they may need. So as we move forward in that process and have additional updates from the fire board, I'll be sure to share them in future council meetings. I will spare you another legislative update from my other assignments because we've done that during the work session. And so we'll move on with our other council reports that anyone has to share, and would ask if Councilmember Richard Higginson could kick us off with any council reports.
It will not be a very cheerful kickoff, I'm afraid, Mayor. In the Power Commission meeting this morning, there was discussion of the water levels at Lake Powell, from which we get a significant percentage of our power generation. Anyway, things are pretty bleak right now. I'm sure that Alan can flesh things out a little bit further if anyone has questions of him concerning those levels. But I think we can expect to see, at the very least, reduced generation there this year and going forward if we can't get some more precipitation, and potentially another round of price increases as they've done in the past. But that's the cheery news from our snowpack and hydro generation resource there.
Thank you for sharing that update. Councilmember Murray, do you have any cheerful news to share?
I do. I have some cheerful news. First, we want to thank you, Mayor, and Beverly Ward for hosting our Bountiful Youth Committee last week, I think it was, at the Capitol. It's always fun to be around the youth, and especially those that are excited in serving and policy, and just sitting and talking to them. They're a lot more prepared at their age in their goals in politics than I think I was at that age. But it's great to spend time with them. On my other assignment with the, I love to bring up the mosquito abatement. Gary Hatch, who is the current director after more than 30 plus years of serving as a director, is retiring this year. And as a board, we appointed Greg White, who is the assistant director of the Salt Lake City Mosquito Abatement District. He will be taking on that role now for Davis County as the director. He's a Centerville resident. Again, I didn't think anyone could be more knowledgeable about the types of mosquitoes and pesticides as Gary, but Greg is definitely a unique personality for that job, and we are grateful for that because it helps us mitigate infections and diseases in the summertime. So great there. And then attended my first meeting with the sewer board, and they are up to their ears in expanding the sewer treatment area and getting it aligned with EPA regulations. And again, an amazing group of people, very knowledgeable, using taxpayer dollars as scarce resources. They are very, very diligent in how they spend those dollars, and keeping our sewer system up and running. So grateful for that group as well. So that's my somewhat exciting report.
Thank you.
Don't bring up mosquitoes.
I was going to say, I look forward to hearing about how you handle mosquitoes
Yeah,
as we head into
very good.
the spring. Councilmember Child, do you have any updates?
I do. With the Bountiful Davis Art Center, we just heard from Serena, and right now the Davis School District Art Show applications are open, or submissions are open. Last year they had over 600 submissions, which is fantastic, and she said it looks like they're online for about that many as well. So if you know any artists in schools right now, have them submit their work. That's always one of my favorite art shows at the Bountiful Davis Art Center. For my work with the Bountiful Community Service Council, I was reminded by Richard Watson to tell everyone about the Carpenter's Platinum fundraising concert coming up on March 28th. You can get tickets online. Just Google or search for Carpenter's Platinum Bountiful. That will be at Woods Cross High School, and that is a fundraiser for our summer concert series. So come and support if you can. America 250, would you like me to take that, or are you going to take that?
I wonder if we cover that when we cover the letter.
Okay, that's great. From the other service groups in Bountiful, they're all actively getting ready for the car show and for other events throughout the summer. And it is always inspiring to see the good that people in the community do with their volunteer time, and we all benefit, just like the community garden here. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilmember Barr.
Nothing to report this evening, other than offering our condolences to our dear friends at the fire department and all of our first responders, and especially to the Stewart family.
Thank you. Councilmember Bell.
Yes, I just want to give a little report on the South Davis Rec Center and give you a little update on some things that are going on there. I've had the chance to, the last 2 or 3 months, to get up to speed. Our good mayor was on that board and has left a sizable footprint of influence and good, so thank you, Mayor, and we hopefully to continue on. A couple things just to make you aware of. Centerville City did appoint a new board member, and I think I mentioned that to you, Mayor, but it's Gina Hurst, so she will be on the board there. I can't help but be just a little sentimental on this one. This is a good news moment. I was thinking just back years ago, long time ago, 2004, when the city and other cities combined to get a bond for that rec center, and I think Mayor Joe Johnson would be happy that this day has come. That bond was paid off. The final payment has been made on that. I think the original bond was $18.4 million, and I think on top of that, Bountiful contributed another 1.1 million, and then another 2 million in a payable. And so I think if I have that right, it was about 21.7 million. And that final payment was made in January, so that has come and gone. And so quite a milestone. I think Joe was such an influence and a cheerleader for that place that I was happy to be able to say that. We have two, as you know, gold medal hockey teams in this country. And even before that, our rec center has just been exploding with hockey. Hockey has become quite an activity down there. They're actually renting out the center 18 hours a day on Sunday now to hockey teams, and it's an additional source of revenue. And hockey is growing, and what we just saw at the Olympics will just, and the Mammoth will just move that on. Our own, just a quick report on the ice ribbon chiller. Many of you know we've had issues with that. That has not been fixed. It's from the downtime, I believe, from the beginning, as I understand it, it's had issues. It will not be fixed this season, and so it'll be fixed in the off-season is now the goal. They've had all sorts of challenges with that, and even getting parts that got damaged on the way here to fix it. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at on that. Another happier note, we talked at another, I think the mayor talked at another meeting about the challenges with the scoreboard in the swimming area and a $100,000 fix that would potentially be happening. Lo and behold, they found some parts around the country. That's an original scoreboard, and the scoreboard is up and running again for swim meets, and so there will be no additional money, but maybe need to budget for something in the future. Couple last items just I would want to mention. There has often, over the last, I think, couple years, and the mayor could speak to this a little bit, but I don't think you need to, but there has been a teeny bit of discussion about expansion down at the rec center. The staff brought forward some renewed kind of cost appraisals for that. There are some things that are really needed there, including some bathrooms on the second floor and some new entry type of things, but we were updated on that. We talked about that, but the focus continues to be on cost cutting and doing some of the things that need to be done there with budgets, and so that will be the focus. But I'm sure we'll be talking about those other things in the future.
Thank you. I spent some time with Mayor Ryan Westergaard of Woods Cross this week, and he mentioned that you were already a great contributor to that board. So thank you for taking on that assignment. That concludes our council report, so we will move to consideration and approval of expenditures greater than $1,000 paid on January 21st, 28th, February 4th, and February 11th of 2026, as well as our December 25 financial report. Has the council had an opportunity to review those financial statements?
Indeed, Mayor, and I'd be happy to make a motion that we approve all of those as printed.
Second.
So we have a motion by Councilmember Higginson and a second by Councilmember Murray. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It appears it passes unanimously. Next item on our agenda, we will turn to our city planner, Francisco Astorga, for consideration of a liquor license for St. Olaf's Catholic Church for their annual fundraiser. Where's Francisco? There's Francisco. Thank you.
Not much to add, other than that the event this year is taking place on April 26th. And we go through this motion once a year to provide them their local consent. We reviewed their application and we found it to be in compliance with current local laws regarding alcohol. So in order for them to wrap up their permit, they take the local consent from the city, they submit it to the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Services, and then they wrap up their application. I'll be more than happy to answer any other questions. Zoe Budge, representing the school, is here, and she could answer any questions that the council might have for us tonight.
Thank you, Zoe. I know this is an annual event. Is there anything
Yes.
you want to share with us about it?
No, we're just excited to do it again, hopefully. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll raise lots of funds for your school and your students. Council members, are there any questions that you would like to ask? If not,
I have a
No, but I'd like
question,
to
but it's
greet
just-
Zoe.
I have a question, but it's just educational from
Sure.
Francisco. So it's just a one-day license, is that how that works?
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, Zoe.
Hello.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we grant local approval and pass this.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
A second from Councilmember Barr. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Looks like it passes unanimously. We hope that you have a fantastic event and it raises lots of money.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will consider approval of the site plan review for Revolutionary Rides at 320 South, 200 West. And Francisco, back to you for this one as well.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a site plan review for a vehicle service business at 320 South 2nd West. We know it as the Diamond Rental Site. It's located in the CG, that's the General Commercial Zone. Mr. Haslam, who is here, is proposing to operate a vehicle service business specializing in window tinting, paint protection film, and vinyl wrapping. All work will occur indoors with the existing approximately 4,900 square foot building. The Planning Commission reviewed this item at their meeting last week? Yeah, that was last week, last Tuesday, and forwarded a positive recommendation to the City Council, subject to their approval of their conditional use permit that they granted last week. So this site plan approval is tied to that same conditional use permit. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. We're happy that this site is finally receiving a tenant or a use, an active use. I don't know how many years this building has been vacant for. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. We do recommend, on behalf of staff and as well as the Planning Commission, that you grant or that you approve the final architecture and site plan, subject to the conditions of approval outlined in the staff report.
Councilmember Child, do you have any feedback from the Planning Commission?
I believe our feedback was just gratitude for Casey Haslam coming to improve the site and the building and the agreeing to the upgrades in the landscaping. So, thank you.
And patience.
And patience.
Any other
A quick
questions,
question.
council members?
This was really, again, to Francisco. On the fourth item, the applicant shall provide landscaping along the south and western property boundaries. Dealing with the residential zone, I was just curious, I drove by that, and that's a pretty big area of land. What is the expectation there exactly? I was trying to understand that.
Yeah, in that the way that our Bountiful City Code is written, it's indicated that if there isn't any a building or impervious surface, all other places shall be landscaped. So we run into some issues whenever there was some landscaping at one point and for whatever reason is no longer there and or maintained, that we take an opportunity through that site plan review process to bring it back. That same law applied then and it still applies to every site out there. So it's just an opportunity to bring it back as it should have been.
Any additional questions from the council?
If there are no more questions, I'm happy to make a motion.
Sounds like we're ready.
Propose that we approve the site plan review for Revolutionary Rides at 320 South, 200 West, as printed.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Barr and a second from Councilmember Child. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Looks like it carries. Next, we will move to consideration of Resolution 2026-03, which is an interlocal cooperation agreement between Bountiful City and Davis County for highway dispatching and call routing. And our dispatch supervisor, Amy Waldron, will be presenting this item for us. While you're coming up, thank you for the great work that your team does for our city, handling so many challenging calls and doing it with such great care and professionalism.
Thank you, appreciate that. And thank you, Mayor and Council, for allowing me to present this interlocal agreement between Davis County and Bountiful for highway dispatch call routing. A little background, Bountiful City dispatches for South Davis County from North Salt Lake through Kaysville. with that, all 911 calls within those cities are routed to Bountiful City for call handling. With this, with Davis County being the dispatch center for Utah Highway Patrol, we felt like it would be better for 911 call processing for them to handle those specific calls that originate on the highways and freeways in our cities. We went to UCA to request that they make that change, and they required this interlocal agreement between Davis County and Bountiful in order to authorize them to make that change. So that's why we're here. We don't really expect that it will affect our call volume significantly, but it will affect the efficiency of 911 call handling through Davis County to be able to handle the call and the dispatch for those calls. So we are just requesting approval for Resolution 26-3.
And for our city attorney, I noted that we have an updated copy. Are there any particular changes that you want to draw our attention to from what was in the council packet?
No, other than the map. We have a map that was anticipated to be with the packet. It's exhibit number 2. It's not in the packet. I gave it to you separately. We did make some changes at the end, which is why we pulled the original map to add Highway 89 and the brief part of 215. The other thing that I would note is that there is an MOU already in place between Davis County and UHP, and it's potentially will be assigned in the future to a different entity. So we have also worked with Layton City in developing this agreement.
That was going to be one of my follow-up questions. I know we were moving towards potentially a 2 dispatch system for our county. So at a point where we move to that system, it's anticipated that Layton will dispatch for the entire I-15, 215 highway corridor.
The agreement that UHP has with Davis County is assignable, so that is our assumption that it will be assigned to them. So that would be our assumption. And there is in the agreement, there is an option for this agreement as well to be assigned if Davis County determines that that's in the best interest of Davis County.
Okay, thank you. Councilmembers, do we have any other questions for Amy?
I'd be happy to make a motion.
Sounds like we're ready to receive one.
All right, motion to approve resolution number 2026-03, approving the interlocal cooperation between Bountiful City and Davis County for highway dispatch call routing.
I'll second that.
We have a motion from Councilmember Child and a second from Councilmember Bell. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda is consideration of a support letter for America 250 celebrations, and Mr. Tyson Beck is going to be discussing this item for us.
Thank you, Mayor, and I believe it would be entirely appropriate if you wouldn't mind leading us out on this discussion, Mayor, to give us a little bit of the background story behind the America 250 initiative.
Sure, I can definitely do that, and we'll look to Councilmember Child to chime in where appropriate. As the council is aware, but as the public is probably not yet quite aware, well, they may be aware of this. Our country's 250th birthday is coming up on the 4th of July. This is a significant event for our country, and the nation and the state has encouraged communities to engage in year-long celebrations, to educate, to serve, and to unite our country on our birthday. So as a city council in our January planning retreat, we discussed what we thought those celebrations and items ought to look like and how we could utilize some of our existing community groups, particularly our Bountiful Community Service Council, to accept some additional assignments, as well as groups that are already organizing great events in our community. Rotary with their Coats for Kids car show and fundraiser, the BDAC with Summerfest come to mind. We invited a number of different entities to a kickoff meeting. Was that last Saturday? Saturday before? Valentine's Day. I don't know why I forgot that it was Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. So we invited a number of different entities, frankly, as many as we could think of, to join us to think about how we can do a year-long effort of service and celebration. We've asked two great Bountiful residents to help co-chair this effort, Jamie Dester and Rhonda Perks, and then we have formed 5 subcommittees to help engage our community and come up with ways to celebrate our country and to engage in various acts of service as well. So those subcommittees are health and wellness. We have asked Cecily Price-Hewish to be the kind of the captain for that group. Education, we've asked Susie Becker to chair that group. Service, we have asked Brian Potts, who's also the chair of the Bountiful Community Service Council. Mitch Perkins, we've asked to lead our celebration committee, and Quinn Boardman to help with our communication efforts to make sure that we're sharing all of the great projects and opportunities that will come up. In order to draw down support from the state, it was necessary for the city to do a support letter or a resolution so that we can utilize the branding and all of the communication pathways that the state has already set up for these efforts. And so that is the background to our letter. I would ask Beth if I missed any part of our organizational efforts and that we should alert people to.
I don't think I have anything to add, other than we had a meeting attended by over 40 people with different entities in the city, and there was a lot of excitement and energy, and I'm excited for this coming year.
Tyson, do you want to supplement with anything or explain anything further about the support letter that we need to consider?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Council, for your time tonight. Truly appreciate our Mayor Bradshaw's initiative on this and her leadership. She's doing a fantastic job of galvanizing our community and helping them see the opportunity that it is to celebrate this wonderful nation that we live in. So with the support letter, the state has created a commission, an America 250 commission, and they have reached out to the federal government who has the trademark for the America 250 branding, and so they have a licensing agreement that this letter of support will help us utilize to create the same logo and branding. So when we are advertising on our website the America 250 logo, this letter of support will enable us to do that. So with that, I have provided on the dais before you the original draft of the support letter and then some additional comments that Councilwoman Child has offered up as an option as well. So with that, I'm happy to make some edits to the letter of support, whichever way the council feels is best. And with that, I can then print it, and hopefully by the end of the meeting, we can get your signatures on it, and tomorrow I can get it submitted to the state so we can receive their support package. So happy to answer any additional questions that might come up.
Council members, any questions or suggested edits to our support letter?
No.
Okay, seeing that we have no edits, is anyone prepared to make or do you have a question?
No. Wondering if you want a motion.
I think we need a motion to adopt our support letter.
Would make a motion to adopt the support letter and the edited version that Councilwoman Child put forward, that we use that as our official document.
Second.
I think you all seconded that. I'm going to give that one to Councilman Murray for the second. Thank you all for that obvious, clear show of support for this effort and for this letter. So we'll call for that vote. All in favor of endorsing the support letter, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. I'm confident we will all be able to sign said letter before we leave the meeting. Next, we have a series of items for the Power Department. So we'll invite Alan Johnson to come up for his series, starting with the consideration for the purchase of two PME 9 pad-mounted switchgears and fuse holders.
I appreciate that, Mayor and Council, to be here with the exciting things of the PME is as we went through Power Commission this morning, Mr. Irvine went through the thing that he was telling us that he was very versed on this, but please tell me what it's used for. So I will bring it back that this is an underground can that's basically, it's got fuses in it, and it's also got switches. We can use it to isolate the main line if we have a problem with isolate, work on it. It also fuses similar like a circuit breaker in a house would be, to have smaller circuits to isolate so we don't have such big areas come out. So it's something that we use on our system for reliability. And so like I say, you look around, there are several of them, and you see the pictures we include, and we have purchased similar cans in the past. These cans are specifically going to be used on the project of the I-15 widening, which is not going to be on the freeway, but is the part of the widening process that I'm assuming that we're aware of, like I say, 5th South and 4th North. They'll be extending out, widening the road, and existing cans and wires are going to move. So we have to buy these in order to facilitate this project. So these cans, even though we purchase them now, will be reimbursed by UDOT as part of this project. So it would, the Power Commission and staff's recommendation that we purchase these two cans from Irby for the price of $49,940. And again, these items will be placed in inventory till we pull them out. And like I say, UDOT will actually be reimbursing for these in the future. So,
Thank you for that presentation. Any questions, council members?
I have a question in general, just about a number of the ones that you're going to address. And by the way, I was really sad not to be there this morning.
we did miss you this morning.
Yeah. Just as you go through and you point out on the other ones, some of these are affecting that I-15. Is there reimbursement for how this works in terms of we're going to approve a cost? Are we just subject to, the city's going to pay, or how does that work with that I-15 project?
The I-15 project being part of the city, if they come back and do that, they actually do reimburse us. We currently have an agreement with UDOT for our 46 kV, which there's another switches that we've got involved here, that they will actually pay for labor or contractors to move it, the installation of all of it, and then whatever equipment we have to purchase. So this portion here is what they've identified. We will still be bringing an addendum back for the additional funds, because currently we've got the engineering and part of the transmission portion approved. But as they're working through, because of the long lead time on these, we need to get them coming in order to do the work. But they've already determined that, say, one can would be by the Sherwin-Williams store, kind of by Walgreens. They're going to be putting a right turn lane there, which will go right through our can and part of Walgreens parking lot. So it's got to all be moved back. And so that's what one of these other cans, the other one will be down over on the 4th North area. So they're working with the state and have identified we do need to get this equipment coming. But yes, UDOT will reimburse us for materials and labor, contract work, anything we do, they'll reimburse 100%. So
that's great, thank you.
Any additional questions from the council? If not, I'd love to entertain a motion on this item.
So moved.
Thank you. Do you have a second? A second from Councilmember Higginson. All in favor of approval for the PME-9 pad-mounted switchgears, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item is approved. And now we can look forward to Alan telling us about 20 transformers.
All right. One of the things that we're finding this winter, because winter has not yet arrived other than one day last week, our crews have been busy working. We can still have access to people's backyards. We have been setting poles, rebuilding lines. Like I say, we've got quite a number of poles that have already been put in through 2 months, they put a lot of poles in already this year. This is what we need for our inventory. These 25 kVA poles are the ones that we put up on the poles as we're rebuilding it. We did go out to bid to replace our existing stock to replace these 25 kVA transformers. We did take the low bid from Stuart Irby for the 25 kVA transformers for the price of $36,317. Again, this would be put into inventory until we use them. It's an identified number we have in our budget to be used, so that would be our recommendation in the Power Commission that we approve the low bid from Stuart Irby for the 20 transformers for $36,317.
I'll make a motion to accept staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Bell and a second from Councilmember Higginson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Looks like it passes unanimously.
Alan, what's the wait time now on these things? I noted that, I think there was a comment that
One
compared to a
thing,
year ago, what would it be now? It's
we had some of these transformers when we were buying them before, had a year, 2 years delivery. Transformers are starting to get better. If you notice that these are here, we're talking 10 weeks. So on this transformer, they're becoming much more available. They are still expensive, but they are becoming more available.
Next item on Alan's shopping list is the purchase of 2 TCDF transmission switches. Would you like to tell us about that item?
Yeah, this again, like I say, the order didn't follow them, but this is back onto our I-15 reconstruction, rebuilding project. These 2 switches are used to isolate the line on our 46,000 volt, and they'd be specifically for air products. And currently, right now, we have our Northwest substation, which is under construction, so we have a piece of our 46,000 line disconnected. But we can still have air products in power, but yet this piece is insulated, so that's what these are for. Again, these switches will be brought in. You'll notice that these are still almost a year delivery time, 45 to 55 weeks. And like I say, this would be part of the thing. This is part of the agreement that UDOT has already approved. Like I say, so we will be reimbursed for both of these switches along with the poles and everything else that we had. So it would be the Power Commission staff's recommendation that we purchase the Wesco Hubble switches for $58,944. This is a single source switch that would match what we've had through the rest of the city, that we've had great luck and we haven't had trouble working. As you have to put them up and tune them, the crews are very inept at doing it, so that's why we've looked at you staying with this single switch, because they have great ability to work on them, so that would be our recommendation.
Council members, any question about these transmission switches?
I don't have any question about the switches, but I do just have a clarification that I think I know the answer to. Just the cost of $58,944,000 in the recommendation, when it says staff recommends the approval of the bid for 2, and then in parentheses it says each. It's not 2 each at the cost of $58,000. It's 2 for the total of 50.
No, I apologize. Yes, it is.
Right.
That would be for the 2 switches. They're roughly $25,000 apiece. So.
Thank you. That's what I thought. I just wanted to confirm. I appreciate it.
Any council members ready for a motion on this item?
Move to approve the purchase as outlined.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Higginson and a second from Councilmember Barr. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Looks like you have some transmission switches. And next, we will consider the purchase of power poles from Stella Jones. I hope these are our favorite butt-treated poles.
Yes, we're back to talking about butt-treated poles again, and again, a reminder, we do them because we have so many poles in our backyard and we have to climb them. If they do the fully treated, they become very hard and dangerous to climb, so we have stayed with these. Again, because winter has not yet arrived, our crews have been putting it in, so we do need to redo our inventory a little quicker than what we had thought we had to keep it available. We have a yearly price on this, so this is the price that Stella Jones had quoted us. We did go out and get it for the 39 poles, which are ranging from 35 feet up to 4 of them, which are 65 feet. And you'll notice they're a little more pricey the taller they get, but this will update some of the work that we'll be doing here in the future. So it'd be the Power Commission staff's recommendation that we purchase these 39 poles for $51,686. Again, these are budgeted projects that we have, but we'll put them into inventory and pull that out as we use them, so.
Thank you. Any questions?
No? I'll make a motion to accept staff's recommendation to purchase the butt-treated poles
Thank
at
you.
the price indicated.
Second.
So we have a motion from Councilmember Bell and a second from Councilmember Child. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We're getting close to the end of Mr. Johnson's list, but not quite there. So please tell us about the purchase that you would like to make for dispatch center battery bank systems.
All right, these are the batteries that are actually in our dispatch center. And because of dispatch center, we have to be able to have our control systems working, radios, lights and everything working. If the power goes out, these batteries will man our control center. And we actually have a generator that backs these up. But for the first little bit, this will run it. If the generator doesn't start, we can run it for 10 hours or so, just off batteries if we need to. But we've got to keep that going. Our generation won't work. The radios, communication with crews, all this is very important to control it. So our crews are going and they test batteries, and they're finding that our current batteries are getting to where they're starting to degrade. And like I say, they've been there since we first put the building in. So it would be our recommendation. We did go out to get it. We actually was able to get 2 bids. You'll notice there's a fair amount of difference between the two, but these were the 2 bids that we could get, and they're both a little bit bigger. The higher bid was for a bigger battery bank, which we do not need. So it'd be the Power Commission staff's recommendation that we accept the low bid from Reliable, and yes, that is the right way to spell the name, even though it looks incorrect, for the batteries for the dispatch center. Again, this is identified in the budget and was part of our budget, would be brought in charge to the power plant, so.
Any questions from the council for Alan? Seeing none, is anyone prepared to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the expenditure for the Reliable battery system.
We have a motion from Councilmember Murray. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Councilmember Bell. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're to the final item on your shopping list.
I apologize for being so long-winded tonight. Our last one is a purchase of 2 capacitor banks. And capacitor banks, when you drive down the road, are going to look a lot like transformers. But what they actually do is they provide capacitance to match up for the induction the transformers do. We use these to control voltage. Part of our interconnection with Pacific Corp is we have to keep what we call our power factor at an average of 80% and 95% over peak. Capacitors, what does this to offset transformers or motors and air conditioners, motors and heaters, and that type of a thing. So that's what a capacitor bank is sort of used for. We've had them on our system for a number of years, and we're starting to see where we're getting some failures. So this is to get 2 units to replace it. And we may have to be coming as time goes on, as they're aging and getting to the point where we're having some failures. So we did go out to bid, and we would like to purchase 2 of these from Wesco for the 600 kVR switches, and these are overhead switches for the total price of $39,856. You'll notice that the delivery on these are 24 to 28 weeks, so they will very likely come into next year's budget. So like I say, we do have some money in there this year, but we'll be putting this in, identified into next year's budget to pay for, because we expect them to come in July, so.
Alan, I noticed in the bids that you received, there was one bid, and it was the high bid that has a very short delivery time of 4 to 8 weeks, whereas the lower bid actually has the medium timeline. Is the high bid high just because of the speed of their delivery, or is it, okay?
Yeah, like I say,
So if you need them now, you'll pay a premium.
that's right. But because we don't absolutely have to have them. We've got the time to wait and save the money, so.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from the council?
It was nice to see that capacitors are used for other things besides time travel.
I had the
Also
exact
noticed that.
same thought.
I had to read that a couple times and not say flux capacitor.
Get your DeLorean.
Yes.
It feels like we all watched the same movie.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
the
I
same
think
time.
so.
Yes, okay.
I should have used a better analogy and got back to the future.
Is anyone willing to entertain a motion on our not flux capacitors?
I'm happy to make a motion, Mayor. I
Thank you.
propose that we approve the purchase of a capacitor. Am I saying it right?
Yep, yes,
Now I'm stuck.
It doesn't go in a
Now I'm
DeLorean.
stuck to flux capacitor. Banks from Westco in the total amount of $39,586.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Barr and a second from Councilmember Higginson. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Looking forward to that time travel. Thank you, Alan.
All right, thank you very much, appreciate it.
The next item on our agenda is the consideration of a proposal from Taylor Electric for the 2026 concrete replacement contract, and our city engineer Lloyd Cheney will be presenting this item to us.
Thank you, Mayor. Maybe before we get to the bids, I would just offer a little explanation for the benefit of Council Members Bell and Barr. This is a very important contract for the city. We use this contract to do a lot of repair work for the various city departments, like the power department or the water department or the street department, where they may go and say fix a water meter or something and have to remove curb and gutter or sidewalk or something like that. We can schedule this contract to go in and replace those improvements, and then those charges are billed back to the departments. We also use this contract to prepare for some of our street work, like our overlays, maybe where we need to replace a waterway or construct some new ADA ramps, and those are funded through the street department's budget. So this is really a unique contract. We run this contractor all around town during the construction season and keep them very busy. Just by way of a note about Taylor Electric, we've harassed them sufficiently about an electrician doing concrete work, and they promised us not to do any electric heated driveways or anything like that, so we're comfortable with that. We have had experience with them in the last year with a fairly significant project up on Mueller Park Road. If you drove east up past the former home of the Llamas and beyond before you drop down to Bountiful Boulevard, we had a few cones out for a little while we constructed a retaining wall to repair a section of sidewalk and curb and gutter that was kind of sliding down the hill, and Taylor Electric completed that project for us, and they did a great job. They were very responsive to us, and that was kind of some unique and difficult working conditions at times. We had to deal with some poor soils and bring in a lot of fill material to actually create a stable retaining wall. As we repaired that section, we had a chance to look at their concrete work as they replaced some curb and gutter and sidewalk, and they were very efficient and did some quality work. They actually had to do some of it twice because the concrete didn't quite match up to specifications, and they didn't quibble or argue about that. They recognized that it needed to be done right, and we very much appreciated their cooperation with that. Nobody likes to ask for things to be done twice, but they recognized what the right solution was. This year, as we solicited proposals, we were very happy to get 6 responses, and you can see there was quite a range in proposal prices. Because of the uniqueness of this contract, I think that's indicative of Taylor Electric's price, where they may not be as experienced in this particular contract. We've spent a lot of time talking to them about how we run this program, how the work orders are created and assigned, and also about the city's program to assist residents in repairing concrete issues at their own homes where we have broken curb and gutter or broken sidewalk or drive approaches that are in poor repair. We have a program that splits the costs with the residents 50-50, and we collect anywhere from 30 to 50 of those projects during the year, and those are assigned to this contract. So we do run quite a volume of work through this. Sometimes the scope of these projects is known in advance. Most of the time, they're not. We do happen to have a backlog of work for the last couple of years, and so we have a fistful of assignments ready for Taylor Electric as soon as they're ready to go and as soon as Mother Nature is ready to cooperate and have a good window for construction to start. We hope to be hard at it. Pricing is generally lower, as you can imagine, by the discrepancies in the totals. They've provided significantly better pricing, and they have indicated that they are very comfortable with their pricing. They have dedicated crews who will be here throughout the construction season. We told them that because their prices were so favorable that don't expect to take any time off, that we were gonna keep them well supplied with work, and that we had plenty for them to do, and they were thrilled for the opportunity to prepare a proposal and are excited to work for the city yet again. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have, but I would point out that our recommendation is a little unique on this. Since we don't have a defined scope, we usually request that the council authorize the adoption of this contract based on the unit prices in the bid tabulation. And we would assign the costs of the work back to the individual departments where the work is performed for.
Thank you, Lloyd. I have one question before we go to council questions. There are a handful of places when I'm walking the dog around the city where we still have the, I forget what you call them, the pilot holes that were drilled for fiber. And most of the time there was a circle that was cut out of concrete and then it was later put back in. But in some instances, those plugs kind of went missing. Is this the contract that will come and fill those if those plugs weren't missing and there's still a hole in the sidewalk somewhere?
If there are holes in the sidewalk, we would still contact B. Jackson, who is Utopia's contractor, and have them address those issues.
Okay. I will keep an eye out, make a list when I'm out and about.
Please do.
Any other questions from the council?
I do have a question, if I may. I remember talking in years past about making sidewalks ADA compliant, and I don't know that this is necessarily as pertains directly to this contract, but I guess I am curious to know if we could be specific in our request of this in seeking out making more of our sidewalks ADA compliant throughout the city. And I know that's part of this, but I just don't know if there's a way that we can kind of, if we're looking for projects, and I know there are many, but if we can kind of keep that toward the top of the list, or how would that work with this contract?
Yes, anytime we get a complaint about a trip hazard or a specific issue, we create a work order for that. We do try and address problems as we're near them. You know, if we're in an area doing, say, like a homeowner repair, and we know we have other issues adjacent that are maybe utility related or whatever, we try and pick those up at the same time.
And council, we also, we get these complaints quite often. And we also have a ADA compliance email address that we receive these complaints to. Certainly if you guys are getting complaints that our sidewalks are not in compliance or they're not able to be used by wheelchairs, we'd ask you to forward those complaints on to us or have them submit a complaint through that website, and we will deal with it. We get quite a few of them, and we try to keep up with them as best we can.
Thank you.
A follow-up question. Thank you, Lloyd, for this. It is intriguing to me, the name of the company, Taylor Electric.
They're working on a DBA
Yeah, that'd be good.
name.
That'd be good. You mentioned that this contract's unique. It sounds like we've had one in the past, similar. Was there another provider? I was just curious who that was. That was question one. And then when you look at this, just an estimate, not holding you to it, when you see the contract here, how long would something like this go in terms of projects? Will this last for a year or two, or will we burn through all this in a year, or how will that look? Estimate.
Yes, thanks. I'm going to answer the last question first and maybe ask for a refresh on the other. This contract has gone on, well, I'm going to skip that. We've had this contract in one form or another in my tenure here. And
program, not contract.
okay, program.
Yeah, I'll just.
We've awarded this similar contract.
Yeah, I interrupted his thought process. I just want to distinguish between the program and the contractors who are doing it. Program's been in place for a long time. We've had several different contractors provide the service.
This is obviously the first year for Taylor Electric, but you'll see the second bid from JMR Construction. JMR has held this contract many times for many successive years. And one of the components of the contract specifically is that we can negotiate with them at the close of the year, like typically around January or February each year, we would talk with them and see if they're interested in extending their contract. And then we would start talking about any adjustments in price increase that we'd bring back to the council. The contract specifically includes a provision that this contract could be renewed twice. So they could have it 3 years in a row. And then we'd go back out to bid after the third year. This contract came up for a rebid because we had previously extended JMR twice.
Okay. Thank you. I think you answered my other question too with that answer. Thanks.
Any additional questions? If not, is anyone prepared to make a motion?
Mayor, I'd be happy to make a motion that we award the 2026 concrete replacement contract at the unit prices indicated in the chart to Taylor Electric.
Second?
We have a motion from Councilmember Higginson, a second from Councilmember Barr. All in favor of approval of the the amounts noted in the bid tabulation, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Looks like it passes unanimously, and now we will move to consideration of ordinance 2026-01, codifying our municipal transient room tax, and hear from our city attorney, Brad Jepson, for that presentation.
Yes, and this is probably deja vu for several of you who were around in 2022 when we originally passed this. This came up when I was simply looking for it and saying, hey, I can't see in our tax code where we have a transit room tax while we're in the process of building our first hotel here. So I ended up finding it. It was passed in 2022, and it just got a little bit confusing with the definitions of short-term rental versus transient room tax. It is clear from the staff report and the ordinance that the intent was to put this on the transient room tax and not just nightly rentals as defined in our ordinance, not in state code. Our ordinance defines nightly rentals as basically a residential part or a short-term rental. So in order to clarify things, and I can't say this enough, this is not a new tax. We've been collecting this tax for the last few years. But now that we will have a traditional hotel or transient lodge, just wanted to codify it in Title 14 of our code and kind of clear up any issues we have with definitions, make it clear that this applies to both nightly rentals in residential areas as well as the hotel that is being built. Any questions from the council?
Thank you, Brad. I did enjoy the blast from the past of seeing the 2022 staff report and recall this discussion and adoption item at the time as well. So,
Galen's name.
any questions from the council?
Mayor, I'm happy to make a motion.
Let's hear it.
I motion that we approve ordinance number 2026-01, which codifies a municipal transient room tax.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilmember Barr and a second from Councilmember Higginson. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Looks like it passes unanimously. We have reached the conclusion of our council meeting, and so at this point, we will adjourn to a meeting of the RDA board with a separate agenda. I don't recall that we need a motion to do that, do we?
Mayor, I'd be happy to make that motion
We have a motion.
if we need it.
It's the motion to adjourn.
And move to an RDA.
Yeah, you don't need a motion to open the RDA meeting, but you do
Okay.
need a motion to end this meeting.
Move to end this meeting.
Second.
We have a motion to end this meeting so that we can have an RDA meeting from Councilmember Higginson and a second from Councilmember Murray. All in favor of doing so, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we will adjourn this meeting and move to another meeting, and I will ask Miranda if she needs a minute or two to reset the recording. She does not, which means that we can move to that second agenda for our RDA meeting. And we do have one item that we need to consider. That item is consideration of an RDA loan for Renaissance Lot 11 mixed-use development located at 1795 South Renaissance Town Drive for Lot 11. Francisco, are you going to be presenting this item to us?
I am. Thank you, Mayor. The loan request is $500,000, part of the RDA revolving loan program. The building has already received site plan approval as well as building permit approval as of December of last year, so it has an active application. The building has not yet been built. The building is approximately 4,600 square feet of ground floor commercial space on the first and second floor, plus 3 upper story residential units, which would continue on the built-out of this specific site at Renaissance Town Center, which would be in accordance to the approved and adopted development plan. The RDA would carry the typical 3% fixed rate with the 10-year amortization scheduled with a 5-year balloon. The borrower, who is Brian Knowlton, who is here, is contributing equity, and the primary financing would be through Deseret First Credit Union. This is pretty typical loan that we issue as part of the RDA. With that said, I want to report that as of yesterday, both conditions of approval, I believe, have been satisfied in that Mr. Knowlton did submit the items identified on page 3 of the packet. And should the board grant approval of this RDA loan, we would triple check everything before we would go ahead and cut the check and record the trust deed note and the trust deed. Those are the 2 documents that would be needed. So with that said, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions.
Council members, do we have any questions for either the applicant or for Mr. Astorga?
I'm not sure who this is directed to, whether it's Francisco or Gary. Just not being part of the budget process in the last year, I was looking through, and it looks like there was a budget of $500,000 in the loan RDA area. I assume that this is what that is.
That's
available
correct.
for?
And the $500,000 is really just a guesstimate. It's a placeholder. We have a fund balance for loans, which I think is, Tyson, do you remember, about $1.3 million?
It's available.
That's available. So we
This is
plug
Fund
in a
70
number.
Fund 72, is that what we're talking about? Is that right? Is that what that is in the budget? Okay.
Yep. So does that answer that
Yeah,
question?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I just have one question. Could you remind me who the RDA director is?
The RDA director, Mr. Tyson Beck, has been appointed that position as of December, I want to say. I currently retain economic development opportunities, so on this application as well as the transition, we've been working together on this application. I would say that. In that Tyson's currently filling a lot of roles, so.
Thank you.
Any additional questions, council members?
Mayor, I'm ready to make a motion if you're ready.
I am ready.
I'd like to make a motion that as an RDA board, including the mayor, who will vote hard on this opportunity to vote, that we grant this loan as it has been presented to us.
Thank you for that reminder. I've sort of missed voting. Do we have a second?
Second.
So we have a motion from Councilmember Higginson, a second from Councilmember Child to approve the RDA loan for Lot 11 at 1795 South Renaissance Town Drive. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Looks like it passes unanimously. Is anyone interested in making a second motion to end the meeting?
I'm ready.
Let's hear it.
I'm going to make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I'll second again.
So we have a motion from Councilmember Bell and a second from Councilmember Murray to adjourn this meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Looks like we can adjourn. Thank you, council, for your work.